Right, so let's see if they give us the list. Okay, so the DS160 is a temporary travel to the United States for K visa, etc., etc. You use it also for K visa, you use it for H1B, you use it for any non-immigrant pretty much. And so here it's electronic application for the, then you're going to select a location. Let's say, for example, you say Algeria. Okay, then you move forward, then they will give you all the thing. Enter the code down, then you, let's see if they will allow me. YVWPN. Okay, that code will be changing every time you do that, right? So it's a, you can test your photos because you have to upload a photo here. Okay, so computer fraud and abuse notice, information collect static of purpose, etc., etc. I don't know if I can go further on this because of the nature of the information as a lawyer, but I will, you just follow the instructions. It's not difficult. I'm going to leave that page because I don't want any kind of issues with uh, with this. But so we're going to go in this, and we're going to go directly on the frequently asked questions because that's what you're going to have. Where can I find the form DS160? Okay, here it is. We just went on that. This is, oh, here we go. We're going to get a sample. Beautiful. So we're going to go, it's not going to be online the same, but it will cover pretty much the thing. So this is an exemplar, so we're going to go over this. This is how it is. I started that earlier. So first you will test the picture, so take your picture and test it to see if it fits. Then it goes on like that. For example, now they use Kabul, Afghanistan. Well, that's kind of interesting because they're not getting it anymore there. So if you have previously, if you have any application before, you can upload it here. So then you can retrieve it. You can retrieve an applications, and they will have a security number. And so here's a security number, etc., etc. That's to retrieve. Okay. So now we are going to go into applying itself. So now you have your surnames. We call it last name in America. Given names, your first names, native alphabet. It doesn't apply here because they don't have the technology. If you were doing it on paper, you would have to do that. Have you used other names? You put yes here if you have a if you have different names, right? For example, I have a company, I have three names. So if there was a combination on it, you just show the permutation here. Do you have a telecode that represents your name? I doubt that. So then you have male or female, of course. Then you put your date of birth. You keep going on here. Now personal information too. That's so here you're going to put the country where you're from, uh, your nationality, and your passport number here. This is where the real stuff starts. Passport number. Then you're going to put where you're residing. For example, let's say you're a citizen of India, but you live in Canada. You'll have to put that. Then, of course, you're going to put your ID, national number. If you have a social security number, you put it. If you don't put it. If you have a tax ID, you have to put it. Then, so this is the specific plan to travel. Well, the copy is not really great, by the way. And travel information, provide when you want to travel. You have to put it in an intention. This is a question, another question I get. Should I have a booking for that? I will recommend yes, because you cannot just say, oh, I might travel. They probably won't give it to you. So have a fixed date that they know, and they will issue your just a booking. You don't really have to show the tickets, but so now other company organization who's paying for your trip. These are for people who usually are B1 visas where their company are paying for that. So you put it there. If not, then it's you. Then travel information. What are you traveling for? Pleasure or business, tourism, you can put that. You can have multiple reasons, by the way, but just put the main one. Have any specific plans? You put yes, then you put the date here, like I was mentioning. and purpose trip to the US. Here they are putting foreign official ambassador, but that's an A1. We're talking about B1 here, so you're not going to put that. And if you have any sponsors, etc., you put it there. Now, these are for investors. Well, they go on and on. These are for etc. I'm going to skip that because we're talking about B1, B2 here. But the rule is still the same. There will be questions that they are asking now. I don't know if they updated that, but they are family. If do you have any relatives in the US, that's very important because that will go to your intent under INA 214B, which says if you have an immigrant intent, you cannot get a B1, B2 visa. It doesn't apply to H1B because H1B is a dual intent, doesn't apply to H4. Also, it doesn't apply to many, but it applies to B1, B2, and F1. By the way, you're going to use the same for the F1. And then the spouse information here. If you're married to a US citizen, you will have questions on that. And then if your spouse is deceased, etc., children, you're going to mention that where are you working. Very important where you're working because that will go also to your intent. If you just quit your job and you think you're going, then they might think, hey, there's something, he's not going to come back. That's the main thing they look at. What are your ties to your country? And it goes on and on. So I'm not going to go. Now it's a security check. Do you have communicable disease? Now it's very important with the COVID. Mental physical disorder, yes, yes. And Title 42 that was repealed lately. It was blocking people from that coming in. Then you have a background. They go on and on your background and security background. That's where the other agencies get in to do a security check on you. And e-visa here. Then you have e-visa. E-visa here keeps going. These are for investment visas. Or E3 for Australians, etc. But we're not talking about this here, so we're just going to skip. So it will go on in this list here. You will see, and the picture, how you put it, choose a different. It will tell you if the photo is good or not. So just take it from your phone. I think you can upload it, and now you don't have to go and take a picture somewhere and scan or anything anymore. Edit US point of contact. Yeah, very important where they can contact you in the United States. You need to put the exact one. Family information, and then okay, work and education, very important. They will go on and on, especially if you're filing this form for H1B. It's major, but if you're filing it for other stuff, then that's different. Okay, so it keeps going on and on. So I'm not going to go over this like that. It's too many. So let's go back now to the visitor visa. So you got the picture. You're going to use the form DS160. Now, what documents you have to bring? These are very important because this is a very interesting question that I get very frequently. Of course, your passport, travel itinerary. That's what I was talking about. The booking, dates, your visits of your last visits to your United States. It will be on your I-94 online, but if you have it on paper, you have to bring it. You have to bring your resume. This is not mandatory, but it's recommended to have it because especially they want to know what your plans, right? Other information, if you have any kind of criminal background and stuff like that, especially inside the United States, you might want to bring that. But that will probably kind of cause almost a denial. But you have to bring it. You cannot hide it, by the way. You cannot lie about that. And this for students. We're not going to talk about students at this point. Can I give my answers as my native language? No, all answers must be in English, characters only. They're talking here about the form, okay? Not at the embassy. They might question you in terms of in your language. All questions, most questions are mandatory, of course, because if you look at it, unless it's not relevant to you, then it's not applicable. Are additional forms required? No, there's only one form. It's DS160. It kind of replaced many other forms that we had to do. So DS160 is a form. And what happens if I were applying but end up making an interview instead of another embassy? This is another frequently asked question. The embassy where you apply, it's you don't necessarily have to have it there, but most of the time you will have. But if you want to travel to another embassy and try to do the appointment, it will be very difficult unless you change it or they change it themselves. So be very careful on that. Don't try to apply in Chennai and then try to get it in Delhi, so it won't work. Although you can reapply and ask for it to be changed before, it has to be changed before you go for the interview. You can sign the DS160 by electronic signature. So you click on it, it will give you that option. Can someone else complete it? If the applicant is literate or unable to assisted by third party, the third party, usually a lawyer or an agent, they have to sign on it. Okay, so this is one of the rare cases where an agent can help. Just to let you know, they are not allowed to practice law. They're not allowed to give you advices. They're only allowed to help you fill it. And if there are any terms that you don't understand, you might want to double check. So it is not, well, it's pretty straightforward. Anybody understanding English will understand. And also, how can I save my application? You can save it or complete it. They have a system in there. You click next, it will save. How do I save it on my hard disk? It will allow you to download it after 30 days. You can save application button. This is pretty much electronic stuff, not legal, so you can just read that. Okay, that's another frequently asked question. You can use the same information that you use to apply for a visa, and in the future, provided it has not changed, you have to amend it, etc. What if I lose internet connections? Okay, that's more technical stuff. How do I edit, etc. So you can follow. Now your pictures, I'm not going to go over this. This is pretty straightforward. You have a confirmation page, family group application, etc. This is not for B1, B2. So bottom line now, that's pretty much it. Okay. Very important. When you are going for a B1, B2 visa, it's a non-dual intent visa. What the government is looking is that you're going to return back to your home country. So if you have big plans here in the United States, that's not the visa for you unless, although the B1, B2 allows you to change to another status. I repeat that. You can change to F1 visa, you can change to, if you're married to a US citizen, you can change, etc. But there are conditions. And we have other videos on that. So whenever you go for the interview, few tips. Number one, I would recommend that you mention that you have well, if you tell them you're coming here for 6 months, they will not give it to you. Let's put it this way. Usually people come for maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 5, 6 weeks. Although at the airport, when they give you the I-94, it will be for 6 months usually, or 1 month sometimes. So that's number one. Number two, make sure you know your stuff. Okay, don't go there and start not knowing what is happening. Number three, make sure that you have all your paperwork in order. And number four, answer truthfully. Number five, if you don't understand, ask to repeat the question. Number six, make sure that if you have had a denial, don't just go right away. It will probably get denied again. Wait some time. If you need any help or consultation before you come, feel free to reach out to us 510-742-5887. Wish you best of luck. Anything I told you today is my opinion. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any questions. Good luck. Take care. Bye-bye.